Hello, 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 and welcome to the wonderful Wednesday broadcast of Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Welcome, everybody. Whew, it is a hot one out here. I have my water, but I wanted to be outside with you guys. So, came out, made sure to spray myself down. So, if you see all this white stuff on my shirt, that's because it's my off spray. I didn't know that was going to happen. Maybe it's because I'm near the end of my can and I need some more. Because on our Fabulous Friday cast, if I can be out here, hopefully there's no thunderstorms coming, I will be outside with you all again. Okay? Well, I hope that you had a terrific Tuesday. And welcome to our wonderful Wednesday broadcast. I'd like to give some congratulations right now. So, friends of Miss Hope's Reading Hour, some of my adult friends, my older young ones, congratulations on finishing all of your classes for your bachelor's degree. That's my young ones. When you graduate, you do 4 to college. That first 4 to 5 years, you get something called a bachelor's degree. I would like to say congratulations to my friend Celia. We have been friends since, wait a minute, since the 9th grade. That was a long time ago, okay? But she is still my friend, and I'd like to say congratulations. And to my friend who is a definite friend of Miss Hope's Reading Hour, my friend Kendra. Congratulations on your master's degree. And usually after you've gotten your bachelor's degree, my young ones, my older young ones, this is something you're going to have to learn. You go to school for about 2 years, sometimes 3. But if you are really interested in what you're learning about, that time goes like that. Goes really quick. So, she just finished her master's degree. Congratulations. Also to all of my young ones who through a very, 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 very difficult year and some change of school, whether it was virtual or hybrid or a combination of the two or all in person, it was still really difficult. So, congratulations again to all of you who made it to the next grade, especially my kindergarten friends. So, you went to kindergarten all online, some of you. It was your first experience with Big People School, and you all worked really hard. I can only imagine how hard it was for your first time being in school, you having to be on the computer and everything. That must have been really hard, my kindergarten friends. So, I would like to say congratulations to all of you who made it to the first grade, my kindergarten used to be kindergarten friends. You are now going to the first grade, and I am excited for you. Hopefully this year will be an awesome year. And wait a minute, there's a lot of sunburst, which is really, really good for the one of the books that we are going to be reading today. Hopefully it will not be too much of a distraction. If it is, I'll make sure to shift ourselves so that that beautiful sunburst isn't too much for some of you to see, okay? Well, my friends, today, speaking of our fair sunburst here, thank you for entering into Miss Hope's Reading Hour wonderful Wednesday broadcast, my sunburst friend. So today we will be talking about, since it has been so hot in so many places, We will be talking about the sun today and how to handle it when you're out in the sun and you gotta walk, you gotta go places. You're like, whew, how am I gonna make it through having to walk through this sun? So, one of our books will talk about that. And you see all this green behind me? This beautiful green is one of the summer colors that we all love so much. And this beautiful yellow of our sunburst friend that came to see us during our wonderful Wednesday broadcast. So we will be talking about some summer color. As always, until we are done, which we are almost done, we will have to get back to our unteachables. Because once it gets to the end of these books, I'm going to tell you something, my older young ones, my adult friends, my parent friends, my teacher friends, my parent teacher friends. These children's chapter book writers, they write some darn good books, y'all. These books have been better than some of the adult books that I've read. I was like, ooh, these books are good. So, if you would like some light reading, you might want to go into the youth chapter book section at the library or at the bookstore and pick you up some, because they are some really good books, okay? Anywho, okay, let us get to the books that we will be reading today. All right, so our first book is called something very simple. I think our sunburst friend would like the name of this book. It is simply called Sun. It's called Sun. This book is by Sam Usher. Sun. Very simple. It's a good book too. And our second book that we will be reading today is called Summer Color. This book is by Diana Murray, illustrated by Zoe Perisco. Summer. Ooh, no you don't. I sprayed myself down already. Summer Color. And of course, our friend Mr. Gordon Corman. We have to finish our unteachables, my friends. So, look at how much we got left. This is it, okay? This is all. I think maybe possibly by next Fabulous Friday, we'll be done with the unteachables, okay? All right, so let us get to our first book, simply called Sun by Sam Usher. And this is a Templar Books book, an imprint of Candlewick Press. Sun. When I woke up this morning, it was sunny. I couldn't wait to go on an adventure. Isn't that what you do in the summer? Going on adventures and things. I said, it's hotter than broccoli soup. Hotter than the Atacama Desert. And hotter than the surface of the sun. This week in Philadelphia, it might kind of feel like that. Can you imagine? Hotter than the surface of the sun? A few days it's felt pretty hot. Granddad said, it's the perfect day for a picnic. On a day when it's hotter than the sun? A perfect day for a picnic? We'll see. So, we gathered the necessary provisions. That's a lot of provisions. You got a hat, you got some chips, you got a sandwich, an apple, a telescope. Those are the necessary provisions. A juice box. Let's see. Granddad would navigate. I would be the lookout. Well, they have a map. Lookout? I wonder why they need one of those. He said, let's find the perfect spot. Oh, that's why you need a lookout. Somebody who can see what the best spot is. If he's navigating, he can't do both. The sun beat down. Whew. Look at them right there. Right there. And all that sun. Granddad said, let's have a rest. And I said, what are we looking for, Granddad? And he said, somewhere picturesque. Had a nice atmosphere. So Granddad navigated, and I looked out. I said, what about this way, Granddad? Let's see. Ooh, the sun beat down. Whew. Does that look hot or what? Granddad said, let's have a rest. And I said, what else are we looking for, Granddad? And he said, somewhere in the shade. But he's navigating. He should know, I guess. So Granddad navigated, and I looked out. I said, what about this way, Granddad? At least they're using the map. Let's see. Ooh. We walked for miles. Whoa. That looks pretty hot. I can't imagine. Granddad said, let's have a rest. And I said, what else are we looking for, Granddad? And he said, somewhere with a cool breeze. Now there's a palm tree. So Granddad navigated, and I looked out. I said, what about this way, Granddad? Oh, do you see what's in that second picture? It's like a boat. How far have they been walking? Let's see. And the sun beat down. Whew. I said, look, Granddad, what about over there? Oh, that looks like a cave. Hope nothing's in there. But someone else had found the same spot. Oh my goodness. It's pirates. Let's see if they're friendly. So, we helped them gather their provisions. I guess they are. And then we shared the perfect picnic. Whoa. That is some picnic, man. There's a lot going on that boat. Back at home, once we'd cooled down, Granddad said, "If you keep looking, you never know what you might find." And I agreed. I hope it's sunny again tomorrow. The end. I like this book because even though it's really sunny and really hot outside, and it might not be a lot of things around where you are, that gives you a chance to use something that helps you go anywhere you want to go. Do you know what that thing is called? It's up here. Starts with an I. It's a very long word. It's called your imagination. And who better to have an imagination with than granddad or grandmom or your aunties or uncles, your cousins or your brothers or your sisters or your mom or your dad or your family or your friends. That's the wonderful thing about having an imagination. You can use it with anybody, even by yourself. Very good book. Thank you, Sam Usher, for our book today, Sun. All right, so here is our next book, Summer Color, by Diana Murray and Zoe Perisco. And look, it looks the same underneath the dust jacket. Oops, drop that. Let me pick that up, friends. There you go. All right. Let's see, who is the publisher of this book? Okay, this is a Little Brown and Company book, Summer Color. The hot summer sun lights the sky like a torch as folks fan themselves on the shady back porch. The sparrows keep chirping a song soft and mellow, and sunflowers reach up with petals so yellow. Look at all those beautiful sunflowers. One of my favorite flowers too. And they can get big. I saw a huge one in my neighborhood. I was like, whoa, that is huge. Mama serves peaches and cold lemonade. Ooh, that sounds good. It's hard to stay cool, even here in the shade. Daddy and Uncle bring chairs from the shed. Our cousin shares ice pops, so swirly and red. Ooh, I could go for an ice pop right now. Or the peaches and the lemonade. That sounds tasty. But far past our yard and the little stone well, what is past that, I wonder? Let's find out. Beyond the tall meadow where quiet deer dwell, And over the hill, where the willow trees sway, the clouds in the sky turn a dark shade of gray. Oh boy, there's a summer storm coming. That's been happening a lot lately here in Philadelphia. The wind starts to stir, a few drops pitter-patter, and critters that creep in the grass quickly scatter. Rain batters down on the blustery scene as cardinals fly into treetops so green. Kinda like the trees behind me. Splashing and splattering, streak after streak, the rain soaks the earth and sweeps over the creek, where frogs start to croak and the water snakes slink, and wildflowers glisten with petals so pink. That's another thing I love. I love to see wildflowers. It rains on the cliffs where the egrets take flight, and down on the waterfall, misty and white. It rains on the lake where the paddle boats rock, and drenches the people who fish on the dock. The picnickers pack up their salads and pie and run with their bright purple blankets held high. Wow, that storm must have came pretty fast. They didn't even have time to pack up their stuff. It rains on the meadow where cozy mice hide. Then, here in our yard, as we hurry inside, gotta get in before you get soaked. Our soggy shoes squeak when we race through the door. We crowd by the window and watch the rain pour. I remember doing that when I was little, when I was younger, and I still like to do it sometimes, just to sit and watch the rain fall. It falls on the chairs and the swing set out back, on the brown wooden fence and the shed painted black. A flash and a crash fill the thundery sky, but we're snug in our soft orange towels, all dry. The storm drifts away and reveals the bright sun. We head to the yard for some more summer fun. The rain left behind a refreshing cool breeze and silvery droplets that sparkle on trees, and plenty of puddles for playing in too. And in each reflection, a clear sky of blue. sky is pretty blue right now where I'm sitting. There's some clouds though. We skip and we jump, we twirl and we dash. Our hot summer day ends with a splash. A splash of color, no less. The end. Very good book. Love this book. So, as I was talking about in the beginning, my kindergarten friends. So, some of them who were learning colors and things like that, parent friends, parent-teacher friends, this is a good book. If you still want to kind of solidify those skills of knowing your colors, it connects it to things that are real, which helps our young students learn their colors. And I just like this book because sometimes when we are experiencing things or we're going throughout our summer, we don't take time to just sit and pay attention to nature and what's happening in nature around us. And if you take a moment, wherever you are, if there is some nature around you, or even if it's just your environment, and you take a moment to pay attention to all the things happening around you and all of the colors that you see, you'll see that there are definite colors of summer, and it will brighten up your summer day, along with the sun that's sometimes really hot. Now the sun is going down out here, but it's still kind of warm, y'all. Still kind of warm. But I'm glad that it's shady and there's a nice breeze. Okay? So glad I got to read that book with you all. Really like that book. When I read through it, I was like, oh, I don't usually think about what colors you see during a storm, or the colors you see after the rain, or what color the droplets are on the flowers and the trees. And I was like, they are kind of silvery, and you do see the reflection of all the other colors, including the colors of you in the puddles after it rains. So I'm glad I got to read that book with you all. All right, now my friends, you know what time it is. It's time to change the ambiance. Time to change our music, because we are back to our Unteachables. So let me tell you what happened so far since the last time we were together on Monday. Okay? So apparently Mr. Kermit is trying to get his class, get out of here, mosquito, is trying to get his class ready for the science assessment at school, because the mean superintendent has said that if Mr. Kermit's class does not do well or do better than last year on this assessment, Mr. Kermit is out of there before his early retirement, meaning that he won't get any of that retirement money that he's been working so hard for all those years before the cheating scandal. So, the principal, Mrs. Vargas, she is on Mr. Kermit's side. She's like, listen, you can't do that to Mr. Kermit. But the superintendent has it out for him, even though he knew that Mr. Kermit, it wasn't his fault for the cheating scandal. So, Miss Fountain is helping his students. Jake Terranova is helping his students study, and the students are studying really, really hard. So, now we are at the point where it is the day of the test. Now, Kiana Rubini, she's a little concerned because she has not told her friends that she really isn't registered in the school or in the class. So, what we want to find out is if they find that out, will that affect the scores? And if it affects it negatively, will Mr. Kermit be out? We got to find that out. So, my friends, I think I need another spray down. Give me a second. I'll be right back. I got to spray down, friends. All right, friends. I am back. Yeah, felt myself getting a few bites. So I was like, oh, we gotta go spray down again. Thank you for waiting on me, okay? Because I can't be getting super chomped on out here. Even though I love being out here with and for you guys. Whew. All right, The Unteachables by Gordon Korman. We are currently in chapter 24. So, we started off this chapter with Barnstorm Anderson, and he is running late for the bus. Then he sees Parker, and he's waving his crutches like, Parker, let me get in your car, your truck, so I can get to school on time so we can take the test. So that's where we are right now. Without thinking, I stepped into the road, waving both crutches over my head. With a screech of brakes and burning rubber, he comes to a halt about 3 inches from my skinless nose. Parker rolls down the window. Get out of the way, Barnstorm, I'm in a hurry. I yank open the passenger door. Me too, I missed the bus. You've got to give me a ride to school. I can't, he protests. I'm not allowed. I can only drive for farm business. What about her? I demand, indicating the old lady. That's different. That's my Grams. I have to take her to the hospital. Grams, who seems fine to me, shoves over and pats the seat beside her. Hop in, kiddo. For some reason, that drives Parker crazy. He's not kiddo. I'm kiddo. I climb up to the seat, pulling the crutches in after me and shut the door. Aggravated, Parker stomps on the gas and we lurch away, sideswiping a garage can at the curb. I guess you don't have to be a very good driver to get a provisional license compared to a real one. As we approach the hospital, Parker cranes his neck. We need the entrance that says emergency. I'll probably read it wrong, but you'll see it regular. You might see it regular too now, I remind him. Parker has been seeing a special reading teacher, and he's supposedly making a ton of progress. There, emergency. We wheel onto a driveway. You've got it. I congratulate him. But what's the emergency? Your grandma looks fine. Grams peers at me. Your nose is bleeding. You should see a doctor about that. She's not fine, Parker insists. She's walking funny. Duck. He adds as we approach a police officer on my side. So I bow down out of sight, and that's when I spot the old lady's white Nikes. You'd walk funny too, I tell Parker. She's got her shoes on the wrong feet. We pull over and Graham switches sneakers. Lo and behold, she walks fine. So we drop her at the senior center, and Parker and I head to school. You're welcome, I tell him. You could have been sitting in emergency all day and missed the science test. I shouldn't be driving you, he retorts resentfully. If I get pulled over, I could lose my provisional license. But we don't get pulled over. We've even got a few minutes to spare before school starts. I thank him for the ride. He thanks me for looking. We've gotten to know each other pretty well since being in SCS 8. We're on our way to room 117 when the door of the boys' room opens and out steps Mateo. Hey, we both greet him. He doesn't answer, which is weird. Mateo usually talks at the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second, in case it comes up on the science test. His expression is weird too. Embarrassed? Upset? I look down. The kid is standing in a puddle. Water drips from his clothes and even the tips of his fingers. I'm mystified. Dude, why are you all wet? My answer comes when 3 big guys emerge from the bathroom shoving each other and laughing. I know them. They're football players, my teammates. Not that they want anything to do with me now that I'm on the sidelines. It doesn't take a genius to figure out the reason Mateo's half drowned. The biggest of them, Faulkner, nods in my direction. Anderson, he mumbles and starts away. I stick out a crutch and stop him. Get the others, I tell Parker. He runs off in the direction of room 117, and I turn back to my former teammates. Real nice, picking on a kid a 10th your size. 3-on-1. Like you never did it, sneers another of the 3, Karnosky. I did it once, last year. It was stupid. I just wanted to prove my aim was better than Karnosky's. The trick is to stick your finger in the faucet and direct a stream of water with deadly accuracy at a target. But when I saw the kid I hit dripping and miserable, I never did it again. Besides, I didn't know that kid. I know Mateo. So you've got nothing to say, Faulkner grunts. What's this dweeb to you anyway? His name is Mateo, I said stubbornly. I hear footsteps in the hall behind me, Parker leading the rest of SCS 8. I don't actually see them, but I know they're there. My attention stays focused on the 3 football players. Faulkner looks surprised. Wait, you're with them? The Unteachables? They're better friends than I ever had when I hung out with you, I spit back. Karnosky kicks the crutch out from under my left arm, knocking me off balance. Raheem catches me just in time to keep me from hitting the wet floor. Aldo leaps forward and shoves Karnosky back against the wall. It's a dumb move. Typical Aldo. Karnosky is as mean as they come, and Aldo isn't nearly as tough against real people as he is against lockers, which don't hit back. Sure enough, the 3rd kid, Bellingham, takes a swing at Aldo, and I'm thinking, here we go. But Aldo ducks, and his body steps into the path of a flying fist. The heavy blow lands on Elaine's shoulder. It makes a loud smack, but she doesn't budge, solid as an oak tree. Bellingham's eyes widen in horror as he realizes who he's hit. Faulkner and Karnosky turn pale. I get the feeling Faulkner's tempted to snarl something like, "This isn't over," but Elaine rhymes with pain. He wants it to be over. The 3 football players turn tail and flee. I bray a laugh at the receding backs. Gee, guys, Can't you run away any faster? Kiana starts hustling the lot of us toward room 117. Lucky for us, there weren't any teachers around. Lucky for us, I crow. Lucky for those jerks. Elaine was about to stomp them in the hamburger. Me? Elaine asked, confused. We should have let you wipe the floor with them, I enthused. You know, like the kid you knocked unconscious and duct taped to the flagpole. Elaine looks totally bewildered. Or when you tipped the steam table over onto the lunch ladies because you didn't like the crunchy peanut butter, Raheem adds. I love crunchy peanut butter, Elaine rumbles. What about the guy you headbutted down the stairs, I demand. You can't say that never happened. Like 20 people wound up in the nurse's office. He just dropped his phone, Elaine explains. He bent to pick it up. I bent to help him. We bumped heads. Elaine assumes a faraway expression as she relives the moment. The kids on the steps didn't stand a chance. He took them all out on his way down. It looked like a giant wave of people breaking over the staircase. We end up standing there outside room 117, staring at each other in amazement. It's just rumors, you guys, Kiana tells us. You know how stories spread in a school. The uprooted tree, Parker persists. The bathroom stall door. The fire extinguisher. Come on, the fire extinguisher has to be true. Elaine shakes her head. Sorry. Okay, fine. I say finally. But it has to stay our secret. If word gets out that you aren't a doomsday machine, the entire football team's going to kick our butts. Ribbit appears in the doorway. What's everybody doing out here? The science test starts in 3 minutes. The science test! After all the craziness of the morning, I almost forgot about it. Who knows how many important facts already leaked out of my head? Ribbit distributes the test booklets as we take our seats. It's game on. Chapter 25, Kiana Rabini. The first time the Unteachables go to Sonic is the day of the state science assessment. We don't know if we'll be able to celebrate how we did, but we can definitely celebrate the fact that it's over and we survived. Plus, Parker has his family's pickup, so we can use the drive-thru. Of course, he's not allowed to have passengers except his grandmother, so we have to walk and meet him there. But we can drink our slushies and sodas in the flatbed, lounging among the bushel baskets of potatoes and onions. It's pretty fun. So we go back a couple days later when the weather's still nice. It's a long walk home though. So it's pretty late in the afternoon when I come stumbling through the door, hyped up on sugar, to find Step Monster in the front hall waiting for me. I'm instantly on guard. I've been in Greenwich more than a month, and she's never once waited for me. She's always too busy chasing Chauncey, trying to keep him from spontaneously combusting or flushing himself down the toilet or whatever. What? I ask her. The school called, she tells me grimly. Or maybe I should say, a school called, since you don't really go there. My first instinct is to try to bluff through it. Of course it's my school. Where do you think I hang out all day? Save it, Kiana. It's all out in the open now. The science exam you were working so hard on, they graded your test, but couldn't find a student to match it to. They called us because we're the only Rabinis in Greenwich. You're busted. Science test. I should have known. Just because Mr. Kermit never checks his class list doesn't mean nobody else checks theirs. I kick off my sneakers and stomp into the living room. Wouldn't you know it, Chauncey is fast asleep in the playpen. The one time I need him awake and alert and ripping the curtains down, he fails me. It's not my fault, I complain. You left me alone on the first day of school, so I found a class and stayed there. Believe it or not, Stepmonster actually looks a little bit ashamed. I'm sorry. I should have been a little more on top of things. But your education isn't a game. And a school is more than a drop-in center where you come and go as you please. Why in a million years would you think you could get away with this? Because nobody cares about me, I explode. If you did, you wouldn't have flaked before making sure I got registered. And anyway, what difference does it make? My real school is in LA. Nobody's going to sweat what happened during the few weeks I was here. This isn't my home. It's just a place to park me until Mom gets done in Utah. For a split second, Stepmonster looks as if she's about to cry, but she doesn't. I'll always appreciate her for that, because I definitely would have cried too. Dad and I know you live with your mom, she says at last, but this is your home too, and we're your family. I peer over at her. She really thinks that. News to me. I mean, she's always nice when she isn't too distracted by her kid, who admittedly is a full-time job. But family? So what happens now? I ask in a small voice. I do what I should have done day one, she decides. I'm going to the school to get you properly registered. No, I howl. They'll put me in regular classes. They won't let me stay with SCS 8. Why not? Because I blurt out the only thing I can think of. Because I'm not dumb enough. She's blown away. Dumb enough? I spill my guts, the Unteachables, and Mr. Kermit, and how we started out a bad class, but we're turning into an amazing one, and pretty good friends besides. Stepmonster listens to my sob story, and the longer I go on, the more stunned she seems. By the time I get to the end of it, Chauncey is awake, but instead of fussing, he's watching me through the mesh of the playpen, listening intently, like he can't wait to hear how it all turns out. Stepmonster looks me straight in the eye. If that's the class you want, that's the class you're going to be in, unteachable or not. I jump up and wrap my arms around her. I don't know if she expected it, but I definitely didn't. It's a weird moment, but not totally bad, in a way. Chauncey isn't a big fan of that. He screams his head off. I pull back. You better go get him. In his mind, hugging privileges are his and his alone. She laughs. You're probably right. And by the way, I don't think you're very unteachable. That science test? The school says you aced it. Well, my friends, we will end there. Oh, I gotta see what happens. We gotta see what happens. Are they going to allow her to stay so that her points match with the SCS 8 crew? I need to know. I want her to be able to stay with that class and her points count, and Mr. Kermit gets to stay to do its early retirement or maybe stay on as a teacher. But also, how are her SCS 8 friends going to feel about the fact that she kept this secret all this time and never told them? It's a lot to find out on our fabulous Friday broadcast, friends. Well, this has been yet another great Miss Hope's Hope's Reading Hour on a Wednesday. I am so happy and so glad that I got to be here with you all. And I look forward to being right back here with you on our Fabulous Friday broadcast. So, until then, my friends, have a great rest of your wonderful Wednesday. Find something to be thankful for on our Thankful Thursday tomorrow. And I will see you right back here on a Fabulous Friday on Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Until then, my friends, I will